Okay, I'm back. So what was I talking about? I was talking about um, Andre Drummond needing to be the rebounder of our team. If you, like I said, if you look back in the season that he was with us for half a season, you can see that he was definitely making a huge difference in rebounding for us, and we were winning those games. Um, if you don't want to pay that much for a shooting guard, then put the idea of Steph Curry coming back. Seth Curry is doing okay where he's at, but could he do better in the Philly scheme of things? Of course, 100%. He could be put out there, and him and D'Anthony could be interchangeable. Um, where D'Anthony is getting in foul trouble, Seth can get out there. The only thing that is a downfall with Seth is that his defense isn't where it could be. I mean, he's a thick little pit bull out there, but he don't have the aggression that a pit bull should have. And I'm not mad at the guy. I'm just saying if he had a little bit more aggressiveness, assertiveness on the defensive side of the ball, he would be a commodity, a hot commodity in the entire league. Every team would want him on their team. The reason why he's getting switched around and shuffled so much is that lack of defensive grit. So that's another idea that we could put on the two. Um, Back to Chicago, DeMar would be a fantastic mid-range threat. If you don't have Joel Embiid being a mid-range threat, you have DeMar and Maxey being a mid-range threat, and that is huge to have three players on one team to be able to fill in those gaps of these defenses they're putting against Philly. They're putting that zone defense out there, which Joel Embiid breaks every single time. But he can't be the only person that breaks that zone. He has to have help, and I think DeMar DeRozan would be able to be that extra help. Okay, so we don't go get Seth Curry, so then try to get Caruso. What's the chance of us getting three players from one team that we absolutely want in Andre Drummond, DeMar DeRozan, and Alex Caruso? Who would we have to let go? We definitely have to let go of some young players like Springer, like uh, uh, Trey. Maybe the council would have to go over there. Like we would have to get rid of a lot of young core, and of course they'd want to pick. Demar's on his last season, so if they haven't given him an extension now, or he's turned down an extension, that should tell you right there that he wants somewhere else to go. He needs to get his feet wet in another city to where he has a better chance of winning. Chicago had a better chance of winning a long time ago when he first got into the league, and it was evident that they were going to be in the playoffs, but they weren't going to get that far because they didn't have that much depth. Um, Building depth on a team is super important in this day and age because players do get injured and players do need to have that extra X factor that they can have. Um, what about um, Caruso? Who could we trade for Caruso? I'm not willing to give up Pat Beverly either. Pat Beverly is um, a good voice to have in the locker room to me. I think him, Joel Embiid, Spike Harris, um, are great to have on our squad to get these young guys to go extra, go further, go harder. Um, Also, what about moving around Lofton? We just picked him up. We can move him around. Mo Bamba, we can get him moved around. Furkan, move him around. Okay, so rebounding, we established we need a rebounding. Let me tell you on the shooting guard aspect of it. Say we're in a half court situation. Maxi has the ball to the right of the rim. Okay. Joel Embiid is in the key. Tobias Harris is on the right side of Joel Embiid in the corner slot. ready to set and shoot three if need be. Then you have Nicholas Batum on the other side of Embiid on the left side in that same key, that same corner slot, and you have Kelly Oubre cutting. Every time Kelly Oubre cuts between Tobias and Joel Embiid, they are going to be drawn to him. They're not going to leave Joel Embiid, but they're going to be drawn to him to where they try to face guard him or at least run next to him. That's where DeMar DeRozan comes in. Joel Embiid sets a pick for him to get to the other corner next to that side where Tobias is. Boop, he can pump fake, go in for mid range and hit that. Then you have Nicholas Batum, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid going for that rebound. Now, did I put too many players out there? Kelly, Maxey, uh, Nicholas, 1, 2, 3. 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I put I put 6 players out there. Hey, if they ain't catch it, y'all didn't catch it. The rest may not catch it either. Okay, so it can be Nicholas Batum and Kelly Oubre can be interchanged. They can always be interchanged because Kelly Oubre moves around so much. Like you almost think he's an extra person out there because he moves around so dang much. So if you put that there, it gives DeMar DeRozan a real good shot at a three or a step up mid range with three players going for the rebound. I used to hate watching the Sixers in Coach Brown's arrangement. As soon as the ball was shot, everybody ran to the other side of the court. Like, oh my gosh, it used to frustrate me so bad. Like, nobody is going for the offensive rebound. Nobody, like, nobody's going for the offensive rebound. It just drives me up a wall. I used to be screaming at the TV, like, what is going on? Just hurry up and get on defense. They don't know, player made the ball, it didn't matter. As soon as it was shot, everybody cut out to the other side of the court. Oh, it was terrible. So we need more rebounding. So that could be a good rebounding scheme if we got DeRozan. Let's move on to another team. I know this is probably going to be a little shocking for me to even say this, but I mean it, and I think it would be a great fit. And I thought we had a chance at getting him, but I don't know. It just didn't fit. But I think there's a player on the East Coast um, that would be a beautiful addition to our team. So that Maxi doesn't always have to carry the ball up the court. He could take some of those because he's also a playmaker, great shooter, um, getting a better defender every single game I see him in. But the player I'm thinking about is a young player, only been in the league probably six, 7 years maybe. I think he got drafted in 2018, 17, something like that. So he hasn't been in the league very long. He can take over games, and that's what Joel Embiid and Maxey need. Is another player that can take over games. Tobias Harris is a great shooter and scorer, but I don't think he can take over games. I've been cheering for him to take over games. He just hasn't, and um, I need another player on that team that can do that. And this player that I'm thinking about can 100% take over the game. I believe that the most he scored was 60, 61, something like that. But he's on a team right now that doesn't really need him, or it doesn't isn't utilizing him. He's a starter, but they don't utilize him the way they need to utilize him, the way he should be utilized, and that's a disservice to his career. Don't Kimball Walker him. Yeah, I said that. Don't Kimball Walker him. Yes, I said that, and I'm gonna stick to it. I said what I said. And the reason why I'm using that, the way of context I'm using it, is because Kimball Walker was a phenomenal player. He was a phenomenal player. But the Bobcats pulled everything out of him. By the time they became the Hornets, he they went ahead and traded him. Now he plays overseas. And he's probably being a monster out of seas. I haven't even looked it up, but He's probably playing phenomenal overseas because he still has that in him. He just couldn't do it in this league the way he wanted to. The way the structure of the game is now, Kimball Walker didn't. It didn't seem like he was himself, and that's a shame. So no, do not Kimball Walker this guy that I'm talking about. Let him thrive. Let him be the player that we should have drafted. We should have drafted this player that year, and I think we would have. Our pick, I think, was the very next pick or the very next few picks, because he got picked kind of kind of low. I mean, kind of yeah, like he I couldn't believe myself that he was getting picked up so low, but he did. And he said it himself in an interview, like, I'm going to show everybody that didn't pick me why they should have picked me. And he's been showing that year after year after year. I know you guys are like, who the heck is the player? Tell us who the player is. If you don't know who I'm talking about now, then, what basketball do you watch? The Euro League? Like, this player, I said he scored 60. I said he's the starter on the team that doesn't utilize him well. Yeah, I'm talking about Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell coming over to the Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, I would trade Tobias Harris for him. Yes, I would trade Jaden Springer for him. I think he has like 2 more years on his contract. I think. Um, I don't think Cleveland is utilizing him the way he needs to be utilized, and he would do great on Philly's team. I mean, I believe if they go pick up Donovan Mitchell, we're gonna win the finals this year, hands down. I don't see, aside from injuries, I don't see a reason why we shouldn't win with Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Nicholas Batum, Kelly Oubre on our squad. I don't see that. Um, I don't see that not working. That would be great. Um, do we probably need pick another player up from Cleveland? Probably. I wanted him a draft night. Why don't they go ahead and throw us Iman Bates? Throw us Iman Bates. We'll give you KJ Martin. We'll give you Tobias Harris and Jaden Springer. That way they can sharpen up their starting lineup and have a couple of great young players and a veteran that can work in between these two um, towers that they have in the back or in the front court with Allen and Mobley. I think Tobias would be great on that team. I think it would take a lot of uh, tax off of them, not monetized, but as far as energy and grit, Tobias would bring a lot of that to Cleveland. Um, so yeah, give us Donovan Mitchell. Let us have that. We even throw a pick in there. How about that? Throw y'all a pick, and we'll see y'all in the finals. How about that? We'll see y'all in the Eastern Conference Finals. How about that? Because right now, even though it's horrible, and I don't know how they're getting away with these wins, the way they're getting them, but Boston Celtics looks like the team to beat. Um, and most likely, we are going to play them in the second round. Most likely. I It's not going to get all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're going to play them in the second round, like we always do. Because why? Because we're division rivals, and somebody has to take the division title in the second round. Simple as that. I mean, I don't see us getting down to the seventh spot. I don't see us moving up to the first spot. I think we're either going to get the second or stay at the third. I don't see us going any lower or any higher because Boston is on a tear right now. As much as I scream at the TV like beat the Boston Celtics, there's only been a few teams that beat them, and we're one of them. We have beaten them. I believe we gave them their first loss. Actually, I think they started their season with a L from us. So are they unbeatable? No, of course not. But right now they're on a tear. They have healthy players right now. Um, let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, so a lot of people are saying that the Boston Celtics have a good chance of winning the title. I don't think it's going to happen with the the people that they have. They do have Christopher Porzingis right now, which he is pulling a lot of weight. But just like Shaq and Kobe, like Kobe wasn't going to win any MVP because Shaq was on his team, and Shaq wasn't going to be winning no scoring titles because Kobe was on his team. So with Jason and Jalen playing with each other, if that's what their focus is, accolades, they're not going to get those kind of accolades because of each other. Jason is probably going to take more MVPs um, than Jalen would because you can't really see Jalen shine the way they see Jason shine. They put more emphasis on Jason's gameplay than they do Jalen, in my opinion. Now, you Boston Celtics fans are probably going crazy right now, talking about what am I talking about? What is this? Well, if you're listening to me, then I must be saying something that you like. So either cut me off now or forever hold your peace. Shut it down. Because I got something to say. I think that when Jason Tatum isn't on the court, whether he's injured or has a personal thing going on and he's not with the team, Jalen takes over that team as much as he can on a losing effort. It's up to Porzingis. Porzingis has to pull the game out of the mud and win the game. Jason can't. For some reason, Jalen. I'm not gonna say he's easy to guard because he definitely is easy to guard. It's just something about guarding him. Um, he has an affliction with either it's when players moving to his right or making draw back. He's not good at that. He's more of a slasher. Um, he's not even much of a pump faker. He's just a hooper, and most hoopers can get guarded easily by aggression. Now, when Jalen is down or away for personal reasons, and Jason Tatum is on the team, Jason Tatum can take over games. He can take care of games late as well. Like he's you need a 3 point shot, give me the ball. You need a quick two, give me the ball. On the other hand, Jalen is not that player. So do they balance each other out that way? Kinda in a sense, in a way, but when you're in the playoffs, you play in this team a minimum of 4 games. Team coaches can pick that apart and use that to their advantage. Use that Jason, um, you can hold him for 3 quarters, but in that fourth quarter he's gonna go off. Or you can keep holding him for them 4 quarters and try to let Jalen take over the game and take that team out. Regardless, I think they deserve their own team. Um, I know, I know when I mentioned this to MJ, he thought I was crazy, and I probably am. Oh, okay, maybe I might be a little wackadoo. They are in my division, so we see them more often than his team sees them. I mean, does Detroit even see teams? I mean, they run past them so fast. I don't know. That was shade. It was some shade, but that's all right. You know, it's all out of love. Love basketball, you know. So if they were to split teams, like say Jalen goes to, um, let's say he goes to Detroit. Okay, just for giggles. Okay, let's say Jalen goes to Detroit and Jason's left there at Boston. Boston's probably going to be a better team because of what they've gotten back from Detroit to back up Jason Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis. They have this depth on their court now. Um, they have Pritchard. Yeah, they have Pritchard. Um, the beast on that team. Honestly, to me, it's not Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown. No, it's not. It's White. He is the beast on that team. He is so underrated. And I know I didn't finish my series on the underrated players in the NBA, but I wanted to give it a little more time. Um, I was doing it pretty easy early. It was like 15 games in, I think, when I was doing it, and it was it was too early because the players that I was starting to mention, starting to get more PT, was starting to show up and show out. So I figured I'd hold that series off for a little while. But White, Derek White is the monster on Boston squad. Last year it was Malcolm Brogdon. He was the monster. But this year and last year to me, I think it's Derek White. He is the unsung hero of the Boston Celtics, and they should have gave him a bag. And I'm not sure what his bag was, but it should have been a nice penny because he was going off on that team. He needed to have the ball less than Jason Tatum. He needed to cut the ball more, cut on the court more than Jalen Brown. So um, when you go and look at the teams and how they won, Derek White is a big contributor, not just with scoring but with steals. He's got some blocks. He's getting some tough rebounds. He's doing the best he can do with what he's got and how little he's got for how long he's got. So um, I think they can do with allowing those two players to separate, unless they figure out a way to work together. Which you're saying right now, like, oh, okay, well they're the best team in the league right now, and they have figured it out. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We will see. The media has a way of gassing this whole Boston situation so bad. Like, oh, they are gassing it. In December, Philly went 10-5. Um, November, I think we went 10-2. So, I mean, things can change in a matter of weeks. So, let's hope that Jason Tatum gets healthy, gets back out there. Um, all the players should be, healthy. Nobody, I'm not calling for anybody's downfall or anything like that. Them to get injured or anything like that. I want them all to be successful. I just want my team to be more successful. How about that? And let's move on to a player I just mentioned, Marcus or Malcolm Brogdon. Um, him and Jimmy Grant are doing things in Portland. They may not want to leave, but it's a business. I think we pick up those two players, it would open up a lot more for Anthony and for their rookie. Shout out to Thibault, Matisse Thibault. He's gotten better out there. He got more minutes. Um, we never know. We might see him back in Philly one day. Um, so what else can I say about Malcolm Brogdon and Jeremy Grant that I didn't say earlier about Jeremy Grant earlier? I didn't really mention a lot about Malcolm Brogdon. I think he's an underrated player as well. I never really liked him as far as his game when he played for um, Indiana or what was that, Minnesota? He played for was it Minnesota? No, it was Milwaukee. It was Milwaukee. But when I started to look at some footage, I started to see why he's as good as he is because he breaks down the defense without the ball. And that is difficult to do. You didn't see too many players do that except like the Allen Iverson, the Rip Hamilton, the the Reggie Millers, those type of shooting guards that did that. They would they'd run without the ball, setting picks and getting open so much so that the defense didn't know who was guarding him, so they would leave their position and go guard him. Like the person that is supposed to guard him too. so it leaves him open to make passes and make plays that other players don't do. And it's real special. I've seen this one play that he was playing in Indiana where he was dribbling the ball up. He passed the ball to Miles. I believe it was Miles. And Miles was at the top of the 3 point line. Malcolm passed the ball to him, ran to his left, went to the middle of the paint. When the other guy on the opposite side of the court saw that, ran to cover him. Malcolm brought him backed up, got the pass, and bounced past the player on the other side of the court for a three. Like he was setting his players up without having the ball, and that's a great like playmaker. That's a great playmaker to have. Breaking through. Tyrese Halliburton does that a lot as well. Um, it's that off ball setup. You gotta be, you gotta have your head on a swivel to be a player like that because you're not looking for your shot. And I think a lot of NBA players today are looking for their shot. They're looking for their opportunity to score when there's these few players that are looking for their other teammates, their assist tally. They might not even be thinking about assist tally, but they're thinking about rebounds and assists. They're not thinking about scoring. They're thinking about getting other players open, setting picks, and moving without the ball. Or they're scoring, but they're scoring inside the paint. So they're drilling the paint so hard that they're leaving the. After a while, they start to leave the perimeter open, and that leads to wide open shots. That's what Tyrese Halliburton is doing right now, setting him up to be a 3 point monster. And we will probably see them in the playoffs. Um, so Malcolm Brogdon could be a good pickup for us. Like I said, it just depends on who are they willing to take. Who do they want to take? What do they need? What does Portland need? Portland needs a lot. I ain't even gonna lie, they need a lot. Could Tobias Harris go over there and then be re-signed after his contract is over back to Philly? He could. Would you guys be okay with him after that if he didn't have a $40 million a year contract? Would you guys trust in his ethics now? His work ethic? No, because y'all some haters sometimes. Sometimes I think y'all too soft in Philly. Yeah, I said it. I think y'all sometimes too soft in Philly because the way you think about basketball is so weird. I'm a big, huge Sixers fan, but I'm not even from Philly. I started liking Philadelphia back in the Barkley days, and then Allen Iverson. I fell in love with Allen Iverson at Georgetown, and he just so happened to be the number one pick at in Philly. So um, I've always felt some kind of way about the fans. Y'all are so finicky. Like when I say soft, I don't mean soft as y'all not tough, because y'all definitely are tough. Y'all definitely are gritty. I mean soft as in y'all feelings about everything. Like a player can't have a bad game without y'all booing or crying about it. I hear these podcasters on YouTube and Spotify, and they just, oh, we suck, and then next week, oh, we're great. Oh, we suck. Oh, we're great. Oh, y'all are so finicky. Like, get a backbone. Then just be cool. Just say your opinion without sounding so soft about it. Like, put some hair on your chest. Say it with your chest, young man. Don't be out there like that. I think Ben Simmons had y'all ruffled up so soft and fluffy that it just stayed with y'all. I mean, you loved them, then you hated them, then you hated them, then you're okay with them, then you just, you know, like you divorced the man or something. Like you disgruntled because he took the cat. Like, come on, what's going on? Like, who cares? He's not on our team anymore. Move on. Now, mind you, I do cheer for people that were on our team and, you know, are on other teams. Like, for instance, Matisse Thybulle, I'll cheer for him all day long. No problem. Because Philly drafted him. If you've been drafted by Philly, I'm going to still cheer for you. I may not watch you as much, but I'm still going to cheer for you. That's just how it is. Once you leave Philly, I may check you out every so often, but I'm not gonna be rah-rahing for you, nah. But come on, I'm not gonna be also not also gonna be like, so butthurt and behind it. Like it's a business. It's for entertainment. Basketball is for entertainment. Like honestly, it's entertainment. You pay to see these people play, whether you're buying a league pass or season tickets. Okay, so get your feelings out of it. Think logically about how you can cheer the team on and think of logical ways to not like their gameplay. Tobias Harris getting paid too much is not a reason why you should hate the man. He is a phenomenal basketball player. You can't say he's not. And if you do, then that's your business. But just, you should congratulate, not player hate. That's all I got to say for today, guys. Let me know what you think about trade ideas. I said, um, what you think about what Philadelphia needs, what they should keep, who they should get rid of, because the trade deadline happens on February 8th, and the time is flying by. The code is getting colder. The days are flying off the calendar. What needs to happen in the next less than a month, actually, for the Philadelphia 76ers at trade deadline? All right. Talk to you guys later. Make it easy. Smile somebody someday, sometime, some way.